What's up, guys? Welcome to NASCAR Heat 3 for the Brickyard 400, which is, of course, as you are probably well aware, this weekend. We're going to be doing a 50% race in this game as Danica Patrick, because, of course, her last race in real life took place on the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, but not in a stock car, and certainly didn't go, I think, the way she or a lot of her fans wanted it to go. So let's see if we can get Danica a victory here in the first official race of NASCAR Heat 3. It's a 3-race stage, 50% race, so we're going to be able to see a lot of strategy and whether or not the AI have the pit sequence figured out. So we're ready to go for the Brickyard 400. Here is the starting grid and the notable notes here as Michael McDowell failed technical inspection. He's starting at the back, as well as David Gilliland, who changed an engine after qualifying. So we'll roll off in the 38th position for Danica Patrick's final Brickyard 400. And we're ready to go racing here. Ross Chastain alongside of us as we go racing at Indianapolis down into corner number 1. A lot of premium motorsports equipment here heading into turn number 1. As Chastain will move to the inside, Gilliland will move to the inside. Nowhere really to go at the moment. It's 2x2 all the way through the short chute and through turn 2. A little bit of push coming through, and that's going to allow Michael McDowell to go through. So to the inside goes McDowell. These AI are on the hardest difficulty, I should say. So you're going to see the ultimate challenge, I suppose, for Danica Patrick, as we've got 212 miles an hour sailing it off into turn number 3. A little optimistic to go in there at 212 in a stock car. I should have lifted off a little bit earlier there. We're going to run nice and low through turn 4. Really loosen the car up right there. And off of turn number 4, the crowd is still very packed together here as we head down and complete the first lap of the race. Of course, 23 laps to go. A nice long race here. 80 laps is the distance, 200 miles. As, of course, it is a 50% race. So we're going to be seeing a lot of action throughout this race. So can Danica get up through this pack here? We've got Brendan Gaughan out in front. Once this pack kind of breaks up a little bit, I think we'll start to see performance differences between the cars. In qualifying, I was passing some of the cars like the 51. I believe that's Jeremy Clements, like he was standing still. So a lot of the back marker cars a lot of times are a lot slower than kind of better cars in this game. It's almost like the F1 games, which is kind of nice to have in a NASCAR game. You're not going to be seeing Morgan Shepherd winning many stages in this game, I suspect, like you did in NASCAR Heat 2, as it would go way wide there. Got very loose in the corner. Gonna have to back it down there, and turn 2 was not on the preferred line. Brendan Gaughan was, and he was able to get through, so we're going to have to try again to make up some positions here. This is going to be interesting. Am I going to be mired back in 40th the entire race, or is stage strategy going to come into the fold? It's going to be interesting to see. We've got 17 laps of fuel and 24 in the stage, so we will have to make a green flag stop during this stage. So it's going to be interesting to see how everything works out when the AI decide to make their stop, when I decide to make my stop, whether or not cautions will come out during this race. A lot of questions. So 211 miles an hour that time, and I actually get the car turned, and here we go, working our way through the short chute. So a little too high in turn 2. AJ Kennington along with Harrison Rhodes, sorry, not Jeremy Clements, Harrison Rhodes up in front. I think once I break up into the pack, I'll be able to start making some moves, but it's going to be about having a car behind me to help me draft through the corners. As you can see, they're just pulling away just a little bit on the corner exit. Oh, really drove it low down in the grass. We're going to spin, make contact with the wall. Are we going to get a yellow for that? Yes, we will. Okay, so a lot of the cars at the back of the field are coming into the pits. Yeah, that's a shame. So clearly the car is a little bit too loose right now, so we're going to go up on the wedge. 4 tires, fuel, and repairs, so that's going to make it so I believe we can make it to the end of this stage, as well as the rest of these back marker cars, which is going to be interesting. Will these cars, by the end, of the stage be able to run up at the front. We'll have to wait and see. 17 laps to go in stage number 1, and Danica gets a much better restart that time than on the initial start, as DJ Kennington is directly behind. That's a bit tight in turn 2. Had to adjust the line a little bit. Thankfully, Kennington's behind this time, so we're not going to lose too much time. We're going to be able to hopefully draft right back up to Brendan Gaughan and Harrison Rhodes. As Kennington's going to look to the inside, so he's clearly able to use a lot more corner right there than I am right now, so maybe I tighten the car up a little too much. We'll just have to wait and see. So I'm going to get a big run on DJ going down the main straightaway. 16 laps to go in the stage. Ooh, we're close. We're pushing up into him. Made a little bit of contact with DJ. Yeah, car's too tight now. So I went from loose to tight. Interesting. Just a tiny adjustment. Probably made too much of an adjustment on that pit stop. Getting up here behind DJ Kennington. Sailing it off into turn 3 on the throttle. There we go. That's a good turn 4. That's a good run through there. Getting up behind Brendan Gaughan. We're going to make it 3 wide down the main stretch. This is Indianapolis racing at its finest. Whoa, there you go. Didn't quite have Kennington cleared there, and he got me in the rear bumper. Got me a little bit loose in turn 1. Thankfully, the car didn't spin out, and we'll keep going here. Now I've got a lot of ground to make up. We head down the back straightaway. Yeah, the car's definitely now too tight. Interesting. So I felt like it was too loose earlier in the race, and now the game has completely changed. So now we have 17 laps to go, so we've got more than enough fuel to make it to the end of the stage. So what I really need to be doing here, if I want to get a stage win out of this, is to pass these 4 or 5 guys ahead of me that came into the pits under my own caution. So I work nicely through the apex of turn 2. Pick up that toe from Brendan Gaughan down the back stretch. Just lifting off the throttle through 3. Just trying to get this thing going here. It's definitely a different handling model for sure than last year. It definitely feels like the adjustments you make on the wedge really affect things. Really make a big difference. There you go, best lap ever. So as the run goes on, a tight race car seems to be doing better. Probably because everybody else's tires are starting to go off, get a little bit loose. And of course my tires are probably going off as well, but because I tighten the car up, we're actually getting a better balance. So running a bit high there in turn 3. Go down right next to that white line. Get off of turn 4. Big draft on Gaughan this time. We might actually gain a spot here. It's going to be close into turn 1. Going to have to dive bomb a little bit on Brendan Gaughan. Actually was on the brakes just a little bit there. Going to have to use him up on the corner exit. Using him up for 39th place. Oh, he's still on the outside. Hanging tough as Brendan Gaughan, and he's able to stick it just ahead of me there for now. Can't say I didn't try to pass him. These AI are tough at this level. Really tough. Get behind Gaughan again. Going to try to get a run on him. There we go. That's much better. Don't have any drafting partner. Going to give a bit of a side draft there. Got a little more straight line speed on me.
Stay low, stay low.
Gonna use the bottom of the track to try to pass him. Oh, trouble up in front.
Still there?
Yeah, trouble up in front. BK racing car in the wall. And of course it takes me out. Well, that's interesting. Ah. Interesting. Interesting how that worked out that way. Yeah, now there's more cars at the back pitting, but still the leaders are not coming off into the pits. Well, we'll at least gain some spots here, I suspect, and we'll be able to start in the mid-pack. 22nd starting position here on the restart. And we're ready to go back to racing here at Indianapolis. Oh yeah, look, you can look behind you in this game now. Forgot to mention that. But boy, is it nice.
You're all clear on the bottom.
So there we go, a much better restart for me that time, and suddenly we're pretty competitive with these guys up at the front.
Careful now, still there.
So what's going to happen here is suddenly we're launched up into the pack where we belong. Stenhouse, I don't think Stenhouse is going to be particularly nice to Danica. I suspect is we're going to make a little bit of contact with Jimmy the Juggernaut. Whoa, a lot of contact with Jimmy the Juggernaut. Again, because I couldn't come into the pits on that caution, I wasn't able to make the adjustments to my car to loosen it up a little bit. So we'll fall back to 21st here. But Jimmy got blocked by Alex Bowman there. So might be able to sneak down to the inside. Pick up the throttle pretty early. Use Jimmy up on the exit. Really got him up in the wall there. And there goes Casey Kane, who won't be in the real Brickyard 400 because of heat exhaustion incurred in the Darlington race last week, which is kind of interesting. As here we go, Suarez just up in front, as well as William Byron, who was able to sneak through on the inside when I had my little issue in traffic. Trying to just hang with Suarez. I was actually behind Suarez in qualifying, but it seems like when you do the simulate qualifying every now and then, it won't quite register your time as fast as everybody else's, and you'll go straight to the back, and that's what happened in qualifying for me. So the old tires, well, I guess everybody's on old tires up here. I probably have slightly newer tires than these guys at the front. But I'm still not quite, I haven't got quite the balance that these other guys do. So I'm kind of struggling right now. You can see how much time I lost to Suarez and Byron there, just in the 1-2 complex there. There we go, got on the throttle real early there, which is nice. Down next to the white line, out of 4. Picking up the draft of Suarez in the 19.
5 to go. You got this.
5 laps to go in the stage. We'll see if the AI even need to pit these guys at the front, or they're saving fuel, which is possible. Make it to the end, that'll be kind of shocking. Ooh, wow, that was close out of turn 2. Still holding Busher off. Here comes Jimmy the Juggernaut to the outside. We're gonna have to be the Pad Piper Daytona here. We have to block both lanes, which we're able to do right now. Busher looking to the inside. Can't quite get there. Jimmy gonna go around the outside. Can't quite get there. We're gonna spin off a 4. Whoa, baby. And we're going to get absolutely swarmed there by the rest of the field. Here comes DJ Kennington, who we can't seem to get away from today. 4 to go on the stage. Well, of course, all these guys back here are probably on fresh tires, which is not making life any more easy for me. Really try to power around LaJoy there. Didn't quite work out for me. Still needed to block Stenhouse down to the inside. A good run down the back straightaway to the inside of LaJoy.
Still there.
Ooh, that's close with LaJoy. A little bit of paint traded again.
Hold your line.
Yeah, things just pushing like a dump truck through the corner.
Car there's on your inside.
DJ Kennington not giving me a whole lot of Grayson Love there, so I won't return the favor.
Hang tight there, driver. Hold this line here. Top lane straight here. Use it if you need it.
Whoa, man. I tried to chop down in front of Kennington and it didn't work out. Yeah, the tires are killed.
Hold your line.
And that's not helping, so we're going to go all the way to the back. All the way to the back. Well, more or less to the back. It looks like we've got some cars that have either crashed or gone into the pits because David Gilliland, Ross Chastain, they're way back there, 3 seconds behind.
Nice driving that stage.
And that's the end
No points.
of the stage.
Caution.
Woo! Okay, well, 37th, Kyle Larson took the stage victory, and a lot of cars are going to be coming into the pits. Most of the field, in fact, are coming into the pits. So there we go, 59 laps remaining. So what we're going to do, we're going to tape up the front, reduce some wedge, go to 49.5 since it seems like the adjustments make a pretty big difference. So we've got 3 cars we're ahead of. Michael McDowell, I believe, is out of the race.
All right, be ready.
And here we go.
Hammer time. Let's go.
It's hammer time, Lewis. We're underway once again, and we're going 4 wide on the restart
Use it if you need it.
with 25 to go in stage numero dos.
Careful. Still there.
As the car feels a little bit better this time. A little bit better this time. Well, that's not going to work because Daniel Hemrick and Reed Sorensen, and wow, there we go, big wreck. Oof. And almost did a weight shift flip there. That's unfortunate. Well, we were doing well until we got, I think Reed Sorensen shoved us into Daniel Hemrick there, and it all kicked off.
All right, be ready.
So here we go, ready to go back to racing at the Brickyard. Don't have the amazing restart we did the last time, but we're going to get a nice little jump here down in turn 1 underneath Rhodes.
Clear all around. Top lane straight here.
And on the throttle we go. Around the outside goes Rhodes. He's going to try to stick it around the outside, and he's going to succeed in that at the moment. The adjustments I made do feel better. So once we get this race settled in here, once again, I think we'll be all right. Running with Gahn and Rhodes and Bain. 3 wide into turn 3 at Indianapolis. That rarely works. It didn't work this time. T-Bain gonna help me out a little bit. Nope, he's not gonna help me out. We're gonna have another crash. This time in turn 3. Ironically, the one place where Danica hasn't crashed yet is turn 2. So we'll come in and take another pit stop. So this is the stage of many wrecks at the moment. So Michael McDowell, the only car out of the race at the moment. Hopefully we'll have some green flag pit stops to look at, but right now it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. So we go back to racing once again at Indianapolis. So let's not try 3 wide moves this time, at least into the corner. Did not get through turn 1 very well. Going to lose a couple spots to the cars on the top lane there. Down the inside, T-Bain moving up in front of me. Big draft on the 92 car. Of Gilliland, but still nowhere really to go with this run. So just lift off the throttle, try to power through the corner, which I was able to do. Got into the back of Bain just a little bit, shoved him up the track. It's running the apron. I can't believe I saved that, but then again, I've had a little bit of experience with the car getting trapped in the apron and almost spinning out earlier today. 18 to go on the stage, so we won't be able to make it to the end of the stage without another stop. I don't believe. Oh, maybe we will. According to that, we will, as I downshifted when I shouldn't have been downshifting because I forgot the controls of the game again. I was working on NASCAR Heat 2, or operating on NASCAR Heat 2 controls, and this is, of course, a NASCAR Heat 3. So I get a big run on Harrison Rhodes down here into turn 3. Going to lift off the throttle, try to just get the thing going, and that's a little bit better through turn 3. Trying to stay on the bottom spotter. Car's handling a little bit better than it did previously. We're still not quite there as I make the inside of T-Bain. Car pushing just a little bit up there. Thankfully this time I didn't shove Bain into the wall. So we're good. Losing a little bit of time to Bain there because I didn't get through turn 3 quite as well as I would have liked. Road's working up behind me. I get a big run down into turn 3 here. Get the back end a little bit wagging, the tail's wagging on the GoDaddy Chevrolet. And there we go, big run out of turn 4. This is going to be Trevor Bain put down here.
Careful now, still there.
And again, nowhere to go in the traffic.
Careful now, still there.
Almost got into Trevor Bain, had to back off it a little bit there because I didn't want to cause a wreck. I kind of like this stage to try to go to the distance here, go to the end without any cautions. Get up to 209, 210 miles an hour. We enter turn 3, roads looking, but not being able to make the pass. And now possibly be able to get a run on Ross Chastain because it looks like this bottom lane's freight training Chastain right now.
Still there.
Now there's the 3 wide move. Getting some temperature warning, so might have a little too much tape on the grill, or maybe just redline the car just a little too much down there in turn 1 with that big run we had on Ross Chastain. We'll have to wait and see how this all turns out as I get up into the wall just a little bit there for no apparent reason. Yeah, car seems to be fine outside of the times we're running 213 miles an hour on the temperature side of things. Not good through turn 4. Definitely lost a little bit of time there. Car almost stepped out on me. There was a wiggling and a woggling through there. We have 14 laps to go in the stage. We should be able to make it to the end of the stage on fuel. Here goes Chastain. I missed my apex there.
The car there's on your inside.
And I'm going to get freight trained. I'll tell you what, this game is brutal at the highest difficulty because it will just punish you if you miss an apex because they will freight train underneath you. 2 or 3 cars, 2 or 3 spots you will lose if you miss a corner. And that's the way it should be, honestly. Good stuff. Ooh, J.R. Hildebrand. That was a J.R. Hildebrand move right there. We got to block 2 lanes of traffic here for 37th spot. 13 to go. In the stage. 66 is going to go underneath. He's going to make that move. Everybody going underneath. So now we're all the way back to the back. So the car definitely goes off in the middle of your run. You're not going to have the same car at the start of the run as you would at the end of the run. That is for sure. So now the goal is going to be keeping the race under the green flag. Haha! He says that and he almost spins in turn 4. It's going to be keeping this thing green until we can get to the end of the stage and hopefully get some green flag pit stops from the leaders. So we've got 12 laps to go on the stage. And at the same time, we'll try to chase down Hemrick and Hill here. But I am worried that we're going to have another tire blowout like we had with the 23 car there earlier in the race, where we're going to have some wrecking, and that's going to be a problem. It looks like the apexes, I'm able to drive it a little bit better this time. Finding that white line a little bit easier. I don't know if I'm gaining much on Hemrick. I'm looking at the gaps. It's really not changing, which is interesting. 11 to go on the stage. We've still got the final stage to go. So anything can happen. Hemrick gains a 10th on me through that corner. So there you go. The AI are actually pulling a gap out rather than losing to me, which it would kind of make sense because, again, they're kind of running in traffic and I am not. And the draft kind of does mean something. Even at a track like the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, it is a very long and fast track. Going to work down the main straightaway once again. And just, I love doing that. Oops. Well, I love doing that, but I don't love slamming into the wall because I'm not quite running the best line when you go woo like that. But boy, is it nice to be able to control the camera on the car. Look at that. Just look straight back. Whee! Good stuff. Oh, and there's the yellow. There is the yellow. So we will be able to make it to the end, and the whole field is not coming into the pits. Interesting. So we'll be mid-pack once again for this restart. We got cars on fresh tires behind me, cars on old tires ahead of me. We're going to see how this works out. We go back to racing here at Indianapolis with 7 laps to go. So will these cars at the front of the pack have to come into the pits? 4 tires and fuel. Whoa, okay, Ty Dillon, that was interesting. Not a good place to be. Well, we got revenge on Ty Dillon for that. And it's going to be a big old crash right there. Well, I don't know what Ty Dillon was doing on that particular restart, but that was no bueno. That was no bueno. So only 2 cars pitted on that sequence. But the one advantage, and it's the one advantage of this, is that as we go back to racing here, we're going to be able to not have to pit on the stage caution. With 4 laps to go, we're only going to have the pit sequence be a little bit affected by that. And quite frankly, with the amount of yellows we've had in this race, I think we might be able to make it on only 1 more stop, even if we don't pit on this first stage or this next stage caution. So we got a good run here on Gilliland. He's going to try to block me down in turn 3. Make a little bit of contact there. Oh, there you go. So Hemrick was, I was not clear on Hemrick. And I do not appreciate that, Daniel Hemrick. I'm going to rough you up a little bit there. On the straight. Really trying to use this fresh rubber to my advantage. Really dived up the inside of Gilliland there. Going to try not to wreck. We didn't, somehow. Gilliland sneaks in front of me.
Stay low, stay low. Careful, still there.
Down to the inside.
All right, now you're clear. Inside.
Boom, into the wall. Oh, God almighty, here we go again.
Nice driving, that stage driver.
Nice driving. Are you sure about that? I don't know. Well, there goes the strategy, because now I can't. Well, there's some cars staying out. Some cars pitting. It's the big dogs are pitting, so I guess we'll pit with the big dogs. This is going to invert the field quite a bit, and this will be interesting to see. So we're going to go down on the tape, go up on the wedge, or down on the wedge. We'll see how that works out. So we got all the big dogs starting in the back, and the slower guys starting at the front. So let's see how this works out.
Be ready here.
As we get ready to go racing once again at Indianapolis for the final stage of the Brickyard 400. Down the inside, 30 laps to go. Making up some time there on the restart. Car feels nicely balanced now. Might have finally found the right combination here for adjustments. We'll have to wait and see though as we go down the back straightaway. Everybody in a nice tight pack here. And underneath McFlurry. Oh, come on, Hamlin. Here we go. got wrecked by Denny going into the corner there. And that's annoying. Well, we'll come back in for pit stops. Yeah, that is a bit annoying. It just seems like you do get turned by the AI a lot.
Have a good day. Be ready.
Let's try it again. Back to racing. 27 laps to go, so still, again, going to take one pit stop to get to the end for everybody. It's just going to depend on where you have to take the pit stop. If you're up at the front of the field, your car isn't quite as good as these guys behind, so you're going to struggle a little bit, as I'm going to struggle because I got into the back of McFlurry there and slowed me down the back straightaway. Boy, you're just not gonna heed. Boy, they just will stick on the outside of you forever. Interesting. they will not give. They will drive themselves into the wall before they let you pass them. So let's try this again. Third time's a charm. We're racing at the Brickyard with 24 laps to go. We're in behind stage winner Martin Truex Jr. with the team that is going away for next season. Furniture Row Racing. Getting a big run behind him. Getting a really big run behind him. We go to the inside of 2 out of the 3 of the big 3. And there you go, 4 wide. Almost got wrecked by Dylan. He backed off, thankfully. So we'll stay ahead of Harvick here. He can't seem to get out of that 35 spot. He's 105 AI. Pretty tough. And there was Truex blocking Allmendinger there in the middle of turn 1.
Car outside, hold your line here.
Here comes Happy Harvick to the outside.
Car outside, hold your line
And
here.
Jimmy the Juggernaut. All coming around me.
Need you to stay on the bottom.
Well, the car was slipping and sliding there again, and as you can see, the AI will absolutely punish you if you're not on the ball. They're 3 wide out of 4 ahead of me. And that's going to slow these guys down, so we'll get a run down the inside.
Inside there, driver. Hold this line here. Still there.
It's one of the Menards cars way out of the groove there. Run a bit low, it's going to come out real wide. Still a lot of push in the car there. Can't drive through the corner quite what I want. Not quite what I want. Hopefully, again, it looks like these slower cars up in the front are really restricting the front runner's ability to go fast. So that'll keep me in check here, or at least keep me in the game for a little while here, as we got 21 laps to go. Definitely a lot of push in the car now. Getting a run again behind Johnson. Am I gaining or am I losing him? Still half a second. That's a bit of a game right there. Yep, gaining on Johnson. Definitely got through these last couple of corners very nicely. And we've got a big draft on Jimmy.
We got
20 to go here at the Speedway. Starting to drive a little bit better now. Starting to close in on the juggernaut, Johnson. Big run. Inside of Johnson. Going to just stay behind Allmendinger. Try to drive this properly. Not quite working. Car washing out just a little bit in the middle. Was not where I needed to be. I was so worried that was going to turn me on the apron there. Thankfully, it did not. Big run down the main straightaway with 19 to go. And there is Daniel Hemrick. It seems like some of these slower guys have finally gotten shuffled to the back. Back of the line for them. Getting a big run on Jimmy the Juggernaut. You slide it down right there next to the white line on the throttle. And here we go. Gonna have a big run on a lot of these guys. Not gonna work out right now because Jimmy's not gonna go. Come on, let's go. Bump drafting with Johnson, and Johnson just decides he doesn't want to go, so fine. There you go, pushed up into Johnson. He was still hanging tough on the outside. Yeah, in that situation, you just have to lift off. There's nothing really you can do. As you've seen earlier in this video, you can't bully them. They're gonna ride you right into the wall. Oh, still a lot of push. A lot of push. I really used a ton of the apron there. I really shouldn't have used that much right there. A little too much of the apron. 17 laps to go. So now we're within the pit window where it's going to be crucial. So everybody, again, going to have to make one last stop. We're going to see what the green flag pit stop sequence is, hopefully, in this run right here. A big run, 208, 209 miles an hour as I lift off, just to keep the car nice and settled through turn 3.
Still there.
Still no pit stops yet. Seems like the pack is very closed up. Doesn't seem like there's a lot of spreading out throughout the field. Then again, that could be because of the fact that we got slower cars on older tires up near the front of the pack. But I mean, you can see all of the cars in the pack are between 1 and 2 right now. And I have to say that's a little bit unrealistic. Maybe they were kind of anticipating the plate package, which isn't going to be used at Indianapolis like they said it was going to be. But who knows? It's right down the white line there. Right out next to the wall. Coming out of turn 4. Looking at Timmy Hill trying to get him. He was not quite able to get there right now with 15 laps to go. Still no takers for the pit stops. That's better. That's a better run through there. In a lot of ways, you have to break a lot of bad habits you kind of formed in NASCAR Heat 2 here. Because again, the cars do handle so much differently. And the AI are so much harder. You really have to be perfect to be able to battle them properly. Trying to get to the inside of Hill, can't quite do it. He's still just got that draft on Daniel Hemrick. Here we go. We're gonna send it right here. Got to send it for 38th spot.
Careful now, still there.
Can't quite get him. Cannot quite get him. They just seem to have oodles and oodles of grip, which I do not have.
Still there.
Down the inside
Hang tight there, driver. Hold this
of
line.
Timmy Hill. And finally, we passed Timmy Hill. It took a couple laps to set him up and pass him, but we finally did it. Still no stops. I've got 8 laps left in my fuel tank. Certainly those guys who didn't pit on the stage caution, they're probably really thirsty for fuel, I would guess. We'll have to see how this all works out. But again, finally clearing Timmy Hill for friggin' 37th spot, or 38th spot. Going for 37th on Hemrick here. We'll see what happens. And hopefully, once the pit sequence happens, the field will spread out. And we'll start seeing a little bit of performance advantages and disadvantages. Because I suspect, again, they modeled the Brickyard here on a all-star style package. So you don't see a whole lot of... whoa, here we go. Yep, cars are running out of fuel. The cars that were running up front are running out of fuel, and Denny Hamlin wrecks me again.
Clear all around.
As he tried to pass McFlurry there, who is clearly out of gas. So, to answer the strategy question, it seems like some of the AI are struggling to know when they need to pit and when they need to stay out. Regardless, we've made up some spots now. We're now well towards the back of the field and lost a little bit of draft. Has anyone come off into the pits yet? Not that I can see. Maybe there's one car in the back that's coming off into the pits. So I work through turn 1. Turn 2, definitely catching up with Brendan Gaughan here. Might be able to catch him and pass him before the end of this, I think. Or by the end of this, I mean the end of the fuel run, which is 6 laps. We've got 10 laps to go. So, you know, we're going to be pitting with 4 laps to go. We only need a little bit of fuel.
Car in front of you is coming.
And here we go. Here we go. Green flag pit stops taking place finally for the AI cars. Lots of cars coming down the pit lane there. Just going to try not to spear into the inside wall. We got 10 to go here at Indianapolis. Up to 24th. But I suspect we'll need a little bit of help here. Are some more cars going to run out of fuel? That's going to be another question. Here comes Clint Boyer behind me. He's definitely made up a lot of time. You can, again, see the speed difference. Clint Boyer's definitely a faster car than I am. And he's really flying up behind. Here comes a lot of pit stops again. Lots of cars coming off into the pits. The Premium Motorsports cars, the BK car. 9 to go in the race. More cars running out of fuel right here. There's one out of fuel going to the top of the track. It looks like it's Kurt Busch. No, it's Trevor Bayne, but he's going to hold up the proceedings there quite a bit. And we're going to come out with some lap cars. Daniel Hemrick running in 36th spot. Goes a lap behind me, and I'm only running in 14th spot. So finally, for the first time today, things really get interesting from a strategy perspective. And where we are on the track, we got more pit stops about to happen? No, we don't. It's not around me. So the first sequence of cars has come in, and then my sequence will be next. We go around Timmy Hill on the warm-up lane there. And absolutely a huge horde of cars coming out of the pits here. We're going to go past Paul Menard for 29th. Or at least he's in 29th. We're at 14th. But that may be a pass that eventually works out in my favor when we just do a splash and dash at the end of the race.
Hitting in front of you.
Here we go, more stops occurring. More of the front-running cars coming into the pits. Where are we going to cycle around to? Kevin Harvick is the leader. He is not pitted yet. Will be second. Daniel Hemrick starting to get a run.
You're low on gas.
All right, we're low on gas. We got 2 laps to go. We'll see where it hits 1. Because where it hits 1 is going to determine when I come in and when I do not come in. So here comes Kane down to the inside of Hemrick. There, it hits 1 in turn 3, so we're not going to be able to make it the rest of the way around without running out of gas. So we'll let some of these guys through, and we'll come down the pits, and there is Harvick.
Drop your speed, driver.
So we're close. So it looks like we've got estimated fuel after pit, so we're going to go with half a can of fuel plus 4 laps. That's all we need to finish the race. We don't need any tires. We don't need any repair, even though there's 2 seconds of repair. We don't need that. We're just going to come in here for 4 laps of fuel, and hopefully we can pass Harvick at least in the pit stop sequence, and we're going to be able to see what a green flag pit stop looks like in NASCAR Heat 2. I know there's some new, or NASCAR Heat 3. I know there's some new pit stop animations. This one looks very familiar. Just gas only. Here we go. 3.5 seconds.
You're clear of pit road.
And we're out of the pits. Still in the lead of the motor race. Now we're not. Brad Keselowski goes through. So it's going to be Danica versus Keselowski, and now there's more cars coming through. Stenhouse, Ty Dillon, and the Smithfield of Eric Almirola. But we come out 5th in the pit sequence. So will we be able to hold on to this? That's going to be the question. So we got William Byron, Daniel Suarez, the young guns in NASCAR, coming up behind me. Byron looking to the inside, Suarez looking to the outside. We're going to have to be the Pied Piper, lock both lanes. Oh boy, here comes Kyle Larson, send by down to the inside. He can't quite get it going there. 5 to go. Uh-oh. I may have underfueled the car. That may be a problem. It may be a problem. We'll have to see. No, we still got 5 laps of fuel left. It's just going to be real close. It is going to be real close on fuel. But it wouldn't be a Danica race at Indianapolis without a little bit of fuel mileage, so yeah, it's going to be real close.
Still there.
As you saw, the tires are completely eaten alive.
Hold your line.
So we're just trying to work through the corner there. Could get a top 10 finish out of this on strategy, which would be kind of cool. We'll be looking and getting the 4 laps to go sign this time. Running right next to the white line there. 4 laps on my fuel counter. So everything's right where it needs to be for me, but you can just see the difference in grip. You gotta imagine that a lot of these guys took tires, and I certainly did not. Again, going for track position, which may or may not have been a good idea. We'll see what happens.
That car there's on your inside.
Blaney goes down to the inside. He'll get there nice and easy. There's not a lot I can do right now. As you can probably see, 22% on the front right. Absolutely cooking that poor tire. Corey LaJoie is 13th. He's the next car. He's going to be challenging me. He's 1.3 seconds behind, so hopefully I don't lose too much time here. Might be able to hold off Corey LaJoie for 13th in the Brickyard. You can hear the tires just absolutely squealing away. They are none too pleased with the amount of punishment I've been giving them so far. And here comes a big pack of cars behind me, including Jimmy the Juggernaut, Kyle Busch,
Car high.
Bubba
Careful.
Wallace. Absolutely passed me around the outside. Whoa, into the wall he goes.
Got one down low now. Got one down low.
Man, oh man, look how much faster everybody
Inside,
is. Just,
inside.
whew, maybe, a word of advice, maybe take tires if you're going to do some strategy calls in NASCAR Heat 3. 2 to go.
You got a pit. Bring her in. You're low on gas.
Fuel alarm is on. Tires are completely gone. Getting passed every which way.
Got one down low now. Got one
Wow,
down
just
low.
look at this. This is brutal. This is brutal. Unreal.
Hold your line. You got one inside. Hold your line.
Yeah, remember how people were complaining that NASCAR Heat 2 was too easy?
Fuel. Let's pit now.
I'm not so sure about that one.
Hold your line.
We got now one lap to go coming out of turn 4, so we may run out of fuel too, so we may not even gain any positions from this little experiment here.
All right, let's go. One lap. White flag of that. Inside. Inside.
Well, that's not going to help because I decided to come down on Daniel Hemrick there.
Those tires.
And then now the spotter's saying, watch those tires. So we're out of gas, we're out of fuel, we've wrecked the car. Getting passed by DJ Kennington. But we're still ahead of Harvick somehow. So I guess Harvick decided to do the same strategy I did with the tires, and it didn't work out. Did not work out. We went from a top 5 finish, potentially, to going all the way back to 33rd spot. I guess it's appropriate because it's Indianapolis. We're going to work off of the final corner, bounce off the wall, and yeah, the poor GoDaddy car
You only got 4 of them.
not going to win. We run out of fuel just as we cross the line.
Okay.
33rd in Indianapolis for Danica Patrick. So let's take a look at the race highlights. Here's the green flag at the Brickyard of 400, and we head down. Kyle Larson takes the win in stage number 1 here in the highlights package, the Exalta race recap. There's Danica Patrick and Kurt Busch make some contact, and certainly that is some contact. Hey, remember how you guys were complaining about caution replays not being in the game? Well, there you go. There's some caution replays for you. And yeah, you can see the damage to the GoDaddy car right there. Kyle Larson sweeps the stages. He takes the stage win in number 2. Then we go on to one of the final highlights here. Clint Boyer, Danica Patrick, trying to paint. Big crash there. And yeah, poor Danica. And then we'll head on to another highlight, or is that the final highlight of the event? No, there's the final highlight. Me taking the checkered flag. So the winner of the Brickyard 400 is Brad Keselowski over Eric Almirola and Ty Dillon. You can go down through the rest of the field, see where your favorite driver finished. Again, we got 33rd spot. McFlurry, Jones, Galding, and McDowell all had trouble and finished lap down throughout this race. So I hope you enjoyed this first video in NASCAR Heat 3. Be sure to hit the like on it if you did enjoy it, and be sure to stay tuned for more NASCAR Heat 3 content. I think we're going to be doing a stream tonight online, so if you want to race against me in this game, that's the time to do it. So thank you guys so much for watching. This has been David Land on YouTube, and we'll see you in the next video.